PCZ TV today looks at the classic surf movie Point Break and its connection to the South Bay.
Does either one of you have anything even remotely interesting to tell me?
Caught my first tube this morning, sir.
Today's episode, Point Break, South Bay.
PCZ TV.
Why can't I just walk around with this thing under my arm and act stone? Ask a few questions.
Filmed back in 1991. This segment was filmed on the Manhattan Beach Pier. Quite an easy place to visit. Here's a wide angle of the wide angle.
You trying to tell me the FBI is going to pay me to learn to surf?
No one was wearing a suit when I was there. Here's a fun angle of what Keanu was seeing. His POV, looking back on the city of Man Beach. This is a great part of town you should really visit. There are lots of restaurants and a lot of surf history. Here's a plaque for the pioneer surf shaper Velzy, located right near the pier. By the way, this South Bay location is totally appropriate given the surf history, surf locations, and the fact that all the boards used in the movie were custom made by South Bay shaper Dennis Jarvis of Spider Surfboards. Dennis Jarvis opened his first surf shop in Hermosa Beach, right near the corner of Artesia and Pacific Coast Highway, where it continues to this day. Now, he auditioned for a small role in the film, but later turned to the casting director, Rick Pagano, and asked him, "Do you surf?" Rick said no. He then asked the producer, Robert Levy, "Do you surf?" And the answer to that was no. Well, that's a bit of a problem. Fortunately, Dennis provided the answer. Quote, "You guys need me. I'm a professional surfer. I've shaped for the best surfers in the world, and I own a surf shop. You need me to bring authenticity to this film." And that's how Dennis got the job. Now for the boards. Dennis said that the first board he made had to be done really quickly. That board was the Utah Special. He made it in 2 days and he drove it to the studio for review. They didn't like the flame job. They said it needed blue in it because there's a line in the film about a blue flame special. So he went back and forth and back and forth, and eventually the production company just gave up and let Dennis come up with a color scheme, which became the Utah board. Dennis spent a lot of time with the actors teaching them how to surf, and he also worked with each one to come up with a personal design for the boards. Swayze was deep into Buddhism.
They don't have any real understanding of the sea, so they'll never get the spiritual side of it.
Hey, you're not going to start chanting or anything, are you?
I might.
Surfer.
So naturally he wanted a, quote, soulful design, which Jarvis developed. Now, years following Patrick Swayze's death, 2 spider boards that Jarvis made specifically for him were auctioned off for charity. They made $64,000, and while not the most expensive surfboard ever made, that's still a whole lot of money. Now, speaking of flames, let's transition to the gas station scene. Now, the gas station itself is long gone and is now part of the Dive and Surf store. Irony, perhaps? Here we see the old King Harbor sign. Here, in a quick glimpse, you can actually see the original Dive and Surf store location. Oh, by the way, Dive and Surf has some serious pedigree. It was started by Bob and Bill Meistrel, Hap Jacobs and Bev Morgan, and is the home of Body Glove. Now, fun Hollywood fact, in 1958 they provided the wetsuits for TV show Sea Hunt, starring Lloyd Bridges. That show was partially filmed down the street in Palos Verdes, at the marine land of the Pacific location, and might be the topic of a future episode. By the way, for more surf history of the South Bay, feel free to watch some of my other videos. Episode 2 has more on Dive and Surf, and episode Y2K has more on Spider Surfboards.
And we're back!
Now, there's obviously a lot of filming locations for Point Break in LA, but they're a wee bit outside my operational sphere. I'm a South Bayer. Is that a term? Well, it is now. So I don't leave my zip code very often. But if the wildlife still looked like that in El Segundo, but you can go to Culver City or Malibu and see the other locations. Now, ironically, after filming my little video, I found this on the YouTube, and he does a great job with actual site visits beyond just the South Bay.
Yeah, baby, yeah!
Look at it! This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, man. Just let me go out there. Let me get one wave before you take me. One wave.
South Bay and the Point Break connections. Very cool.
For me and Busey and Keanu and Lori and all my guys in the gang, something special happens, you know, and he just jumps off the screen, and I live for that.
If you've been watching this far, I thank you.